Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. There's this trend that I've noticed, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it too, of like this new kind of content on social media. Although what I just saw was a long form YouTube video, and of like this new thing of women, usually younger women, like praising men and masculinity and saying how great men are, and then saying things that they like and admire about men. Now, on the surface, you might think like, okay, it's positive. That's nice. That somebody's saying that. You don't like in pop culture. We don't always get that message. It's just that, especially after 5+ years in the manosphere, I just think all the praise that, these young women are giving men is just bullshit. There's really nothing particularly good about men. There's like I say, and if you think men are good, go to spending time in the manosphere will disabuse that notion, which isn't to say that women are anything to write home about either, but I don't think they're as bad as men are. And but the thing is, it's like I'm responding to the reason I'm making this video now, even though I've been seeing this kind of shit for a while, is this thing popped into my YouTube feed. This girl, I think her name, Keira Lhoutan or something. I can't remember if it's Keira or Keira Lhoutan. She's got a video, I think it was released today, called Shout Out to Men. And it seems to me like I just gotta hope that this girl and these other girls on social media don't really believe this shit and they're just doing it to like get views. But I can't really tell. Basically it's imagine you got like a cute young white girl to say all the things that MGTOWs think about men as a group. None of the women bashing per se, but just talking about how great men are and how men, we don't get the short end of the stick and don't get enough credit, blah, blah, blah. And not that I couldn't necessarily understand why some guys would feel that way. I mean, I used to kind of feel that way. My problem was less, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but my problem was actually always less men being demeaned as much as it was like I felt like, because born in the 80s, came of age in the 90s, I felt like my whole life all I saw was girl power and women being promoted, and that kind of made me, resentful because I was young and I wasn't able to put it in context, middle class America thing. Like all I could see around me was I didn't see women having lower status or being mistreated or anything like that. So for me, it just seemed like, why are women being promoted so much? Well, women and girls being promoted so much. Like, what about us? Anyway, get off that though. And I'm sorry, I kind of lost where I was here. But so this girl in this video, and she's saying like what I've seen a lot of these girls saying. She's saying like, first thing she says is like, you guys who get up every day and go to work, it's like, yeah, okay, and like keep society running. Yeah, okay, men do that. That's great. Women do it too. And women also, if we look at it statistically, are doing most of the like household, family maintenance stuff. Men may do more like yard work and shit. But if we're talking about like work to keep the home clean, and don't get me wrong, I think women should do that because they're spurgs about it. But like women are the ones doing that, and you cannot have a modern economy without the work that women do. The thing is like, yeah, like men are most of the engineers, certainly not all of them. And the overwhelming majority of like the road workers, construction workers, stuff like that. So you see a lot of men at like these endpoints, but there's always, administrative. I mean, first of all, women do some of that stuff as well. Second of all, there's always like all that like administrative, like backroom stuff that like you think isn't essential. Like even something like a hairdresser is necessary for a modern, like a modern diversified economy. So like, don't think that like there's this idea that without men the lights go out, and it's true, but they go out without women too. So like it's in like both genders I think are equally waking up every day to do something that they hate, and either to support their families or sometimes just to support themselves. I don't think men are in need of any special praise on that front. And then she's like, and then you get like, and then you have to deal with manipulation from women. Well, no, we don't. No, we don't. I mean, there are guys who let themselves get manipulated by women because they get led around by their dicks. That's not, that's supposed to be a good thing about men. That's pathetic. That's fucking pathetic. So like, I mean, and don't get me wrong. I'm not like, if there are women who are using their sex appeal to manipulate men, I understand that sometimes it's just a survival tactic, but that's wrong of them. They shouldn't do that. But but I mean, I think men have to take some responsibility for their own actions too. Like, don't stop being such a fucking simp. Have some self-respect. Don't let your dick lead you around, and don't get manipulated because you're getting breadcrumbed by some girl who's using her sex appeal or whatever. And then she says, like, because I could never do what men do. Yes, you could. I mean, you might not want to, but there's certain things that there's a lot of jobs where like it requires a lot of strength or even just stamina that women generally can't do. That there's always going to be those exception G.I. Jane types who can. But first of all, most men aren't cut out for that shit either. So don't go giving us too much credit. And like a lot of the stuff, it's more like when I noticed this once I had this job. This sort of like, it was I've worked a lot of weird jobs. This was a really weird one, even for me. I was like kind of this everyman in a vet. So I just did like lots of weird shit around there. But there was this one time where I was putting together these shelves, and all the other than the guy who ran the place, the guy ran it with his wife, and then everybody else was a woman besides me. And I was putting together these shelves, and I wasn't going to be able to finish them. And so like I was trying to show, because I had to go home, I was trying to show the girls there how to do it. Like, this is like really simple stuff. I'm positive these girls could have done it, but they just had no interest in it. They were like, no, I can't do that. Sorry. They were just like, so a lot of times it's not that women can't do it. It's just that they don't really I think most guys when we start, like, even if we're like, I'm like not at like a hands worker type at all, but once I started doing it, I got like really into it, and which I think is common for most guys. They get really into these things. There are some women like that, but generally I think women just see that and are kind of like, it just doesn't do it for them. So no, I don't think that especially in the modern West, like if you wanted to talk like 500 years ago, if a woman was saying like, yeah, I couldn't go out and do the backbreaking farm labor and stuff that you do. Yeah, that's true. You physically couldn't do it. I agree. Or at least some of it. But like, nah, I mean, like there's just the pressures of being a man in the Western world. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's easier to be a man now in the modern world than it has been, to be at any other time in human history. I mean, we've got it pretty easy relative to like the rest of humanity. There may have been a time where women could say that, oh, like I couldn't do that shit. But now, as modern technology, like the modern technology and modern prosperity, no, it's not a hard thing to be a man. Okay, at least not in a physical sense. So, the thing is, it's like, if you think about it, when men actually did do like, did um, like generally do jobs that like just tore their bodies apart, and like, like, so they were like, usually they either didn't make it to 40, or if they did, they were immobile, they were bedridden because like, the physical work they did. When men used to do that shit, you didn't really hear them complaining about how men don't get any respect. I know that things were different back then, but still, then they were actually doing that shit. Now we've got a society where men, have it easier than they ever have, and they, but they complain more. They complain more than they ever have. And I'm not trying to say that all or even most men are whiners or shit, but like there is a lot of, like I said, if you went just by the manosphere, it's like men are super emotional, super weak, like always complaining. Like I don't see like the manosphere is the one who are always promoting like masculinity and values, and I'm all for masculinity. I just don't see a lot of positive masculinity in the manosphere. I don't see any strength. I don't see any like ability or willingness to protect. I don't see any ability or willingness to self-sacrifice. All I see is, or ability or willingness to go out and make changes. All I see is fucking either bitching about women or complaining about the society, which is still run by men, by the way, doesn't value men. It's like, yeah, no shit. Because we're like, the thing is, because we're interchangeable. And the thing is, like, if you read like a lot of feminist stuff, you'll often notice that they're not really mad at men per se. They're mad at biology, and that's how I feel like the reverse. I'm not trying to compare the manosphere and feminism, but I'm just saying that in this one instance, you do see a bit of the reverse. Men are angry that society doesn't value them the way it values women. It's like, okay, yeah, that's because biologically men aren't as valuable. Okay, it's biology, you fucking idiots. Jesus Christ, and so that's all for now. See you in the next.